Swan. To avoid meeting disruption, please place cell phones in silent mode or turn them off during the meeting. All meetings are recorded. When addressing council, please sign in, state your name, and speak clearly into the microphone. Line item 1, introductory item, Pledge of Allegiance. And Councilman Torres, would you lead us in that, please? Thank you, Councilman Torres. Now we'll do roll call. Ward 1, Councilman Hanna is present. Ward 2, Councilwoman Zorberski is present. Ward 3, Councilman Lau is present. Ward 4, Councilman Torres is present. And Ward 5, Councilman Mendoza is absent. We will move on to line item 1.3, public forum. This is a portion of the meeting devoted to the public. The public may comment on any matter that is not specifically included on the agenda as an action item. Items not included on this agenda cannot be acted upon other than to place them on a future agenda. If you wish to comment, you can do so in person at the meeting or raise your hand featured Zoom, *9 if you're participating via phone. Public comments are limited to 3 minutes. Please avoid repetition. The mayor may, at his discretion, hold comments until the second public forum at the end of the meeting. Public comments submitted prior to 4 p.m. the day of the meeting will be provided to City Council and added to the record, but will not be read during a live meeting. Any public input received after 4 p.m. the day of the meeting will be included in the record, but may not reach council members before action is taken. Is there any public input at this time? Is there anyone on Zoom? And nobody on the phone? Okay, thank you, Ms. Swanson. Line item 1.4, looking for approval of the agenda. Councilman Hannan.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and good evening. I'd like to make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Second that motion.
We have a motion by Councilman Hannan, seconded by Councilman Lau. Please vote. Did we get that fixed, Ms. Swanson?
We have to call it to the provider.
Oh, okay. Ward 1, Councilman Hannan.
Yes.
Ward 2, Councilwoman Zabriskie. Ward 3, Councilman Lau.
Yes.
Ward 4, Councilman Torres.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0. We will now move on to line item number 2. 2.1, possible action, review and discussion of the transient lodging tax budget fiscal year 25-26. The budget for fiscal year 25-26 is $220,000. Council, excuse me, may advise on allocations for itemized line items. And on that note, what I really wanted to just kind of put my pitch out there is to increase 4th of July, and this is just my recommendation, is to 30,000, and then the other two to 75,000. As long as we're underneath that amount of $220,000, that's kind of my recommendation. But so we'll go from there. And Councilman Hannan, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to know, are you talking about adding $10,000 to this cycle or the cycle in December, January for the 4th of July? Because the only reason I ask is because we discussed giving extra money for the 25th anniversary. I know Councilman Torres, we talked about this as well, and I think you had some input on that as well. Were you saving some of this for the 25th anniversary?
No, I do believe in the mayor's budget that was passed, there was $100,000 in that budget. The mayor council budget, there's $100,000 that was budgeted for the 25th anniversary. So no, that doesn't include this right here.
Okay, but we could use the FCTA money as well, so that we have left over in our budget. That's something that you have any input on?
Can you repeat that?
Yeah. I was looking at Councilman Torres because I think we had talked about this before about using some FCTA money for the event. I know that we budgeted for it in our budget, but we don't have to use that money. We could use FCTA money as well to have leftover money for our budget if our budget gets thin. We usually get reports every month. And I would rather use some of these funds for that event rather than general fund. How do you feel, Councilman Torres?
Councilman Torres?
So the budget that we just passed did have the $100,000 for 25 for the 2026 4th of July. So are you asking, Mayor, for $30,000 additional money for 4th of July 2025, like in a month?
I believe that has already been budgeted for, if I'm not, am I correct on that,
Mr. Mayor,
Ms. April?
if I may, for this cycle, which includes the July through December, this is the budget that we're referring to at this meeting, which is a total of 220,000. And the line items are fireworks, grant cycle 1, which will be this coming grant cycle that you have your meeting for, or I'm sorry, round 2, and then the grant cycle round 1 for fiscal year 25-26. So it has a portion of each in this budget. So the fireworks, whatever you decide to itemize at this budget will carry to your next meeting when it's awarded.
Okay,
And if
so
you have
my
any-
recommendation was to increase from 17,000 to 30,000. That is for this year's fireworks.
Correct, correct. And if you have any other questions, our city treasurer is here, Robert Carson. He can answer those questions.
So yes, Councilman Torres, it was the 30,000 to increase it from 17,000 to 30,000 for in a month from now. Yes.
So it's just a $13,000 addition. Okay, that makes sense.
Correct.
So we're on the same page now.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Councilman Hannon.
well, I have two questions. The one question was just answered, and the second question was this a request they made, or is this something that we're just doing, or
This was just my recommendation.
why?
Why? Because of the cost, because we haven't increased this amount, 17,000 for quite a few years. And with the additional cost of fireworks, this would really help out the 4th of July committee because my feeling is this 4th of July is put on for the city of Fernley.
Okay.
And we have the funds there. So I'd like to see us contribute a little bit more to help them out.
Okay, maybe what I should have said was I'm not on the committee, so I don't know that there's a big difference in cost between last year and this year. I don't know. Is there?
That I cannot answer.
So what I would like to do is just put that 13 contingent on their request tonight, and if they do request it, then we make it available. But if they don't request it, that we honor what they request.
Yeah, well, that's exactly correct, but it was just my recommendation because we're actually not voting on any increases right now. This is just a meeting to say this is how much money we have. I put my recommendation out there. So that will be covered in the FCTA meeting that will be at 6:00.
Okay, and do you want a motion?
I don't believe, I don't need a motion, I don't believe.
Okay. This is possible action. Do we need a motion?
Well, it does say possible action, so I guess I do need a motion, but I think Councilwoman Zaberski had a question or something.
I think just for clarification, the 25th anniversary thing that you were talking about was $100,000 that we set aside during the budget for the anniversary. That's what you were asking, correct?
Yeah, so what I was asking was we're giving 13,000 additional for July 4th, 2025, and then there's 100,000 allocated in the general fund budget for 2026. However, my question was why the need now for 13,000? I didn't know, and I guess when they do a presentation tonight, we'll find out. But I'd like to make it available if it's required. But if they don't ask for it, then we'll save it for somebody else.
Well, they're here. I'm sure they will ask now.
I'm sort of kidding. Yeah. Well, I'll let them give their presentation.
And excuse me, Mr. Mayor, if I may.
Yes,
April
Ms.
Hami,
Hami?
Executive Admin for the record. I apologize. I forgot that earlier. There is no motion required at this time. The motion comes into play after you put your amounts on your itemized form. And then that'll be pulled up by the clerk after it's averaged out, and then that's where the motion comes into play. Any questions?
So are you saying there's no motion needed to accept the staff report that the allocations for the TLC
Well,
increased, or?
after it's presented by Mr. Carson, but then you will bring up the itemized form, and each of you will write your numbers down on those four line items for the fireworks, round 1, round 2, and other potential grants. And then you would need a motion to either approve or modify that motion.
Okay, correct. So that was just my recommendation. That is not, that's not my vote or anything. That is council's decision on where they want to go with that. So is there any other, Councilman Torres?
I didn't have a question on that. Mr. Carson, are you going to do a presentation on the rest?
Robert Carson, City Treasurer, for the record. I wasn't going to do a presentation. I was just going to kind of walk through the differences between this year or this coming year and the current year and what we've done in the past and your different options in there. So if you want, I can go through that real quick and then you guys can make decisions from that.
That would help me.
Perfect.
But that's at the 6 o'clock meeting, correct?
No, he's going to give a presentation.
Oh, right now. Okay.
All right. Thank you again, Robert Carson, City Treasurer, for the record. So again, with the TLT Special Revenue Fund this year, because we have the new CRRC being built, we were actually able to allocate out the revenues in a different way this year. So we did 60% to the CRRC, and then the other 40% is for you to allocate to outside agencies. The way the resolution, municipal code reads is at least 60% to the Civic Center and not more than 40% to the FCTA. So this year, the budget went from $140,000 to $220,000 just for community support. So in years past, and can you pull up that spreadsheet, please? Sorry. So in years past, I believe we did $50,000 for the first round of grant awards, $50,000 for the second round of grant awards, and then $17,000 for the fireworks. Well, now you have $80,000 more to allocate out this year. So if you wanted to increase the round 1 grants or the round 2 grants by $10,000 or $20,000, you have that ability. Like the mayor recommended, if you wanted to up the donation for fireworks to $30,000, you have that ability. And then same thing with the other potential grants. So there's just a lot more funding available for it. You don't have to allocate all of it. Whatever doesn't get used or doesn't get reimbursed just goes back into the fund balance. And then we start all over again next year with those anticipated revenues. So those are your options with it. And you guys can decide how you want to go with that. And I can answer any other questions you may have.
I guess I have a question. So if they don't allocate all the $220,000 and there's some left, at that time, could this council sit there and say, we want to use whatever's left for the 25th anniversary in 2026?
Potentially, I'd have to go back and read the code and just see if that's an allowable expense under what we have, and we can revisit it then if that's the desire. But I think the code was fairly specific that it's up to 40% that is spent with outside agencies to promote tourism. So I don't know if it's allowable. We'd have to speak with our city attorney and look through the code and go from there.
Okay, thank you, Councilman Hannon.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think the last 2 rounds I recall it being, and I think 70,000. We were not 50. It was close to 70, right? We were 69,000, 70,000 on the last 2 cycles.
April Hami, Executive Admin, for the record. The last round that we had for fiscal year 24-25, January to June, $67,666.67 was awarded. And those additional funds came out of the other potential grants.
Okay, yeah, I remember we were talking at 70. I think we were right there. So that's what I recall. Not 50, but you said 13 additional on the 50, so that would be 63. but I usually have a pretty good memory for this stuff.
Yeah,
I
so
remember
so the
saying-
additional funds, so if you look at the spreadsheet that's up on the screen, the round one and two grants were both allocated out at 50,000, and then the other potential grants, I think in the excuse me, the round that Ms. Hami was talking about, we just took the leftover funds that were in the other additional grants and allocated those out with the round two or round one.
So just so I clarify, so I understand this correctly. So we have 220,000 for the 12-month cycle, which is 2 cycles.
Yes,
So we could do 110 each cycle. Is that what you're saying?
potentially, yes.
Okay. And then any unused goes right back into that fund and just accumulates and then can be reallocated to other things like the CRRC next year or grants next year.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, Ms. Hami?
If there are no further questions for Mr. Carson, if you're ready to go ahead and itemize those line items.
So,
Aren't we doing that in the second
so do
meeting
we
at
need,
6
does
o'clock?
council needs to fill these out right now and then give them to Ms. Swanson or,
Yes,
okay,
council needs to complete now, then they go to Ms. Swanson. And then at the next meeting, council, the FCTA board will know how much funds they have to give away.
okay, thank you.
Mr. Carson,
Councilman Torres, go ahead.
underneath our names on the spreadsheet, do you want what we're adding or do you want the total amount?
Oh, that'll be a question for Ms. Hami, actually.
April Hami, for the record, that would be the total amount for each line item. So if you were to allocate 20,000 for fireworks, that would go on that line item. Round one, if you were allocating 80,000, round two, 80,000, and I don't know, 40,000, as long as those 4 line items do not exceed the $220,000. They can go under that amount, but they cannot go over that amount.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ms. Swanson, do you have them all? Okay, so we, All right, thank you. So here's what we have. Okay, Ms. Swanson, so we did, so it came out to an average of 30,000 for the fireworks, 57.5 and 57.5, and then other potential grants, 42.5, correct? That comes out to 187, right? Okay, so I'm looking for a motion to accept this. Yeah.
Mr. Mayor,
What do you need?
Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Councilman
I'd
Hannan,
like
go
to make a
ahead.
motion to accept the item numbers as presented.
Second that.
We have a motion by Councilman Hannan, seconded by Councilman Torres. Now we'll vote. Ward 1,
Yes.
Councilman Hannan. Ward 2, Councilwoman Zaberski.
Yes.
Ward 3, Councilman Lau.
Yes.
Ward 4, Councilman Torres.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0. So line item 3, this is a portion of the meeting devoted to the public. If you wish to comment, you can do so in person at the meeting or raise your hand featured in Zoom. Star 9 if you're participating via phone. Public comments are limited to 3 minutes. Please avoid repetition. Is there any public input at this time? Is there anybody on Zoom? Nobody on the phone? Okay. So our next meeting, next council meeting will be June 18th at 5 p.m. and this meeting is adjourned.
Good evening. We will call this meeting to order. This is the regular meeting for the Convention and Tourism Authority. The date's Monday, June 9th, 2025. The time is 6 p.m. Item 1.1, Pledge Allegiance, and Mr. Lau, if you please lead us in the pledge. Item number 1.2 is roll call. We have board member Hannon is present. Board member Soberski is present. Mr. Lau is present, and myself. Mr. Torres is present, and absent today is Mr. Mendoza. 1.3, public forum. This is the portion of the meeting devoted to the public. The public may comment in any matter that is not specifically included on the agenda as an action item. Items not included on this agenda cannot be acted upon other than to place them on a future agenda. If you wish to comment, you can do so in person at the meeting or use the raise your hand feature in Zoom, *9 if you are participating via phone. Public comments are limited to 3 minutes. Please avoid repetition. The chair may, at his discretion, hold comments until the second public forum at the end of the meeting. Public comments submitted prior to 4 p.m. the day of the meeting will be provided to board and added to the record, but will not be read during the live meeting. Any public input received after 4 p.m. the day of the meeting will be included in the record, but may not reach board members before action is taken. Is there any public input? And if you are speaking at the podium, please print your name on the sheet provided. Okay, seeing none, is there anyone on Zoom? We're going to go to item 1.4, possible action approval of the agenda. Mr. Lau?
Like to approve the agenda?
Second.
I have an approval of the agenda by Mr. Lau, a second by Mr. Hannon. Please vote. Mr. Hannon?
Yes.
Mr. Birsky?
Yes.
Mr. Lau?
Yes.
And myself, yes. Motion passes 4-0. Item 1.5, possible action, approval of the minutes. Mr. Lau?
Like to make a motion to approve the minutes?
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Lau, a second by Mr. Hannon. Mr. Hannon, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Birsky?
Yes.
Mr. Lau?
Yes.
And myself is a yes. Motion passes 4-0. Item number 2.1, fiscal year 24-25 budget expenditures report ending May 31st of 2025. And I believe Mr. Carson, you're up.
Sorry, I apologize. You caught me unprepared. Robert Carson, City Treasurer for the record. So to date through May 31st, the amount that has been spent is $96,258.66. So that left $43,000 for that has not been expended, and the fiscal year is just about over. So I think all the awards have been, or all the grants have been awarded to date. What's the timeline on reimbursement, Ms. Hami?
Mr. Carson, if I may, April Hami for the record. The reimbursement deadline submittal for the last round is July 30th. To date, we've had 2 submit for reimbursements, and we have paid those reimbursements in the amount of $22,667.67. And the remaining balance to be reimbursed is $44,998.99.
Thank you. So I can answer any questions if you have any.
Any questions from the board? Mr. Bersky.
I don't know if I missed that, or maybe it was back and forth. What's the total amount that we have for today?
For today,
Yeah.
that
for-
you're
for
gonna be
this grant
awarding?
cycle.
Ms. Oberski, are you asking what is the amount you are permitted to award or what is
Yes.
the balance?
Yes.
Yes to both?
No, yes, what's the amount that we're permitted to award?
I believe that was
That
the
was-
amount that was just approved in the
That
last
was
council
just
meeting.
approved at the
So it was
council.
the 50, what is it, 57.5, I believe. So 57,500, which was approved at the last council meeting a few minutes ago. That's what will be awarded this evening, or is available to be awarded this evening.
I just want to make sure that I have the exact amount that I'm allowed to award. There seems to be,
Ms. Swanson, what did your final sheet show?
Chairman, if I may,
Yes.
April Hami for the record. 30,000 was averaged for the fireworks, 57,500 for round one, which will be this grant cycle, 57,500 for round two, and then 42,500 for other potential grants, for a total of 187,500.
Thank you. So it's 187.5 for this round and next round. And we can divide that up however we wish between the two rounds.
Chairman,
Yes, sir.
and we're subtracting 30,000 for the fireworks out of that? This is like super confusing.
Yeah, 187.5 was the total.
And
But
30,000 was for fireworks?
yeah, so it should be 157.5 that is not earmarked.
So, $157,500.
Yeah.
And then we're dividing that by two technically because we have two cycles. Okay. I can't add that fast, but I'm gonna. So for tonight, we're 78,750. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Carson.
78,750, Ms. Homey.
That is correct. If you do not, you have the additional monies in the other potential grants, which will be included in that amount. If you were to award based on what was approved at the city council meeting at 5:30, then those amounts would be 57,500 for this grant cycle this evening, 57,500 for the next grant cycle. You can utilize money from the other potential grants at 42,500. You can use a portion, you can use all of it, but once you use that, then the next grant cycle, if you were to use all of the money in that line item, you would be at 57,500.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions from the board? All right. Any other questions from Mr. Carson? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay. So we're going to go to item number 3.1. First one's up are the Fernley 4th of July.
Hi, Becky, Treasurer, Fernley 4th of July. Robert Pierre, the President of Fernley 4th of July. And thank you for the additional funds for the fireworks. It's going to help because our donations have been a little slow coming in this year. This year, we're adding a Battle of the Bands on the night of the 3rd. So from 5 PM to 10 PM at the park, out of town park at the gazebo, there'll be a band competition. We also have camping on the nights of the 3rd and the 4th. The 4th of July, I'll start with the Mason's Breakfast. We'll have the parade. There'll be the flag raising at the park. There'll be a performance by Fernley Performing Arts. We're going to do contests like watermelon eating, the diving for dollars, horseshoes, cornhole, We'll have a free kids zone and a paid kids zone. We'll have live music from 8 p.m. to midnight, and of course, the fireworks that go off, you know, when it gets dark and the wind dies down. So no specific time. Oh, and we'll have grease pigs. I forgot that one, sorry. Do you guys have any questions for us?
Any questions from the board? Mr. Hannon?
Thank you, Chairman Torres. Almost called the councilman. I'm sorry. Is there going to be a camping event? There was a camping event last time, and I think that was
Yes.
well received. Is that happening this year?
Yes, we have 2 nights, the nights of the 3rd and the nights of the 4th. They'll be camping in the 6 acres behind the rodeo grounds.
Okay, and then there was some mention in the previous meeting about additional money for fireworks. How short are you?
So it cost, this year it's $62,000 to put on the whole event, and we've gotten $8,000 worth of donations.
How much donations?
8,000,
Okay. Wow.
yeah. So we have donation letters out. We go in and talk to different businesses and stuff, and they, oh, we'll see what we can do. We'll see what we can do.
And then do you make money off of the concessions and stuff that you?
So the vendor spots, we sell the vendor spots. The parade, it cost to be in the parade. The Aces rent the spot for the bar,
Okay.
and then the kids zone pays a percentage.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And we will have an ATM machine that will not run out of money in the first hour this year.
All right. Sounds exciting. Thank you.
Any other questions for 4th of July committee? Seeing none. Thank you both very much.
Thank you.
Next is 3.2 Sacred Visions Powwow, 14th Annual Sacred Visions Powwow.
Hello. Forgot how this worked. Good evening, FCTA Board. My name is Tricia Connor. I'm part of the Sacred Visions Powwow Committee. I am here with participants that attend the powwow who have organized the powwow as well. The Sacred Visions Powwow Committee was established in 2008, all to put on this annual powwow, and our theme is to bring the people home. We are a nonprofit organization, and this year is our 14th annual Sacred Vision Powwow. It takes place at the Big Bend Ranch in Wadsworth on July 11th, 12th, and 13th. You guys are all welcome to attend the powwow. Our budget to run this powwow is about $34,000. The committee is requesting $9,226. Most of the funds, if we get awarded, will be paying for rentals of portable lights, the Sandy Huts sound system, T-shirts and that alike. Also the radio advertisement, which would be local radio here in Fernley. So the powwow was established as a beloved event. It's unique and attracts hundreds of attendees to the city of Fernley. Many guests choose to stay in the Fernley hotels, dine in nearby restaurants, refuel at local gas stations, and shop at the grocery stores, which contributes to the Fernley's economy. Our committee is a strong and small yet passionate group of ranging from elders to youth. We work tirelessly each year to ensure the event takes place, and we are committed to delivering a high-quality experience that showcases our culture. The additional resources from the FCTA board would empower the committee to continue to host this vital event for our community here on out. And I'd like to have some dancers here and committee members to also speak on what the powwow means to them. They will introduce themselves as well.
Nơ Punkany Moon, Minaniet, Nơ Quaipat Way, Buren Lake Way, Nơ Waitsi Way, Epia Jimiazi, Eatna, Sinikany Moon, Epahwa, Wanakany Moon. As always, we come to you in a good way. I've been attending this powwow since I was about 1 year old. It is a gathering of our indigenous relatives, our non-native brothers and sisters, our youth and precious elders, a safe place where we hold many things sacred, things I have yet to learn. The reason I dance is because it's part of my culture. As well, my Nima language. I also dance because my family, for people who can no longer dance, and I dance to make my auntie proud. I am a youth fitness leader and encourage my peers and my younger brother and sister to dance. I plan on being in leadership next year. I am in 5th grade at Fernley Intermediate School. My favorite subjects are math and science. I am going into the 6th grade. A few fun facts and history about our annual powwow that I hold special to my heart is that grandfather, George Nimunkap, was an original committee member along with Ipahwa auntie, Monica Nimun, who was very instrumental in the naming of our powwow Sacred Visions. The name comes from our stepmother, where legend has it is that this Paiute mother waited so long and missed her children so badly that her salty tears formed a lake, where she has turned to stone and still sits there to this day. The name of the powwow and vision that is sacred is that this gathering brings us all together, a celebration that is incense our children have come home. So with that, I would like to invite you and your family to come and enjoy our powwow, July 11th, 13th to 2025. If you see me there, remember to say hello. Pijat you. Pinidwa.
Hamaniwan, Namashamakali Bobadia, Minania. I am a member of the Pyramid Lake Paiute community. I grew up out there. I'm in my 40s, so I am still continuing to dance along the powwow trail. This is my daughter. She was born in 2008, and so this powwow now continues. For about as long as she has been alive. And right after she was born, as a member of the Pyramid Lake Paiute tribe, I come from a family of buckskin dressmakers, of language speakers. And so at one of the very first powwows, I wore my great-grandmother's buckskin dress. Today, I'm not wearing that dress. I'm wearing a powwow outfit that I made myself. And that was just really special that my daughter, from the time she's been a baby, has been to this event. And many of us, I make my own outfits. I made her entire outfit, like most of her beadwork. I make my own outfit. We spend our lives dedicated to this kind of thing in our community. And during this time, it's a time also to show our newest creations, even if we started them the day before. So we really enjoy it, and I really appreciate your support. I'm also a former music educator in Washoe County, and I have 2 degrees from the University of Nevada, Reno, but none of those things compare to the culture that is handed down, and for me to be able to get up and dance for all of this. So this powwow means a whole lot to me, and especially since it's been going the exact same amount of years my daughter has been born. So Fija'a, and I really hope you guys can support us, because we do bring a lot of people also from out of state to the area, and we don't have that many powwows in the state of Nevada. So this is one of the very few that we even have. So thank you. Fija'a.
Nianetabanyan, Elizabeth Works, Neshashoni and Hopi, Netoitakara Naibidin. I myself have 5 children, and yeah, they've grown up going to this powwow because this is one of the first ones kind of in this area that come along, and we look forward to this every single year. I've carried my children in their cradle boards dancing at these powwows, especially this one because it's local, and I love the fact that they pay so much attention to the elders. They have their own section and they cater to them and take care of them. And that for me is a teaching lesson to my children. And we would love to have your support in carrying on with this. Yeah, it does. It brings a lot of people here to this little community, and I'm sure the city, benefits from that. But we would definitely, appreciate your support. Thank you.
Hama na Alani Minani'a. I'm 16 years old, and I've been living on the Pyramid Lake Paiute Reservation since I was born. And this powwow means a lot to me because it's basically where all of my dancing journey has started. I've been dancing since I've basically been able to walk, and dancing has brought me to many different places, many different states, and many different reservations. And this powwow is basically the origin of where I started dancing. And I really take pride in my dancing. I do it for my community, for myself, for my family, and for my community to make anybody happy. I've been told that my dancing makes people happy, and I've been told to never stop dancing. And this powwow is also very important to our community since there isn't a lot of powwows in Nevada, and it's just very important and a very good time, and it only comes once a year. So, thank you.
And with that, I'm open to any questions you may have.
Any questions from the board?
Just a comment.
Mr. Hannon?
Thank you, Chairman Torres. I just want to welcome you here. It's so great to see you. I had the opportunity to attend 2 powwows on the reservation and a couple war days actually, and the amount of history and the culture that you retain and that you teach and to continue to teach the youth is so forgotten in our country. All of our history sort of fades away, and you guys have really held on to that, and it's very, very special. At least once a year, I go out to the museum and I walk around and I just sort of ponder all of the things that are there and all of the things that have happened for literally, thousands and thousands beyond that of years. And it's very special. And so thank you for coming tonight. It's good to see you. Next time, dress up maybe. It's always good to see this because it gives us a good representation of what you're doing and what you're going to do. So congratulations. All the best on your event.
Thank you.
Thank you all for coming, and thank you, Trish. Trish, we still miss you, but we're glad you're doing great at Pyramid Lake.
Do you need? I was gonna ask if you need a second on that. I'll second that.
Okay, 3.3, Nevada Veterans Coalition for Wreaths Across America. Should sign in.
Good evening. My name is Rich Crombie. I'm the president of the Nevada Veterans Coalition. I'm joined with Sharon Sorenko, who is our treasurer, and some of you know personally. On behalf of the Veterans Coalition, I'd like to thank you for giving it, the opportunity to address the board and for you to consider our grant. I'm here on behalf of Wreaths Across America, which I'm sure most of you, if not all of you, have attended at one time or another. As you well know, just down the road, we have a shining jewel, as I usually, allude to when I'm emceeing some of the ceremonies. We just had a great one at Memorial Day, and just talk about this is just a remarkable venue for what we do and how we honor our veterans. So you guys, it's really a testament to the city and what you do and how you contribute to honoring veterans in the state. Now, Wreaths Across America, as you well know, it's a national event. It happens this year, December 13th, so it's typically the second Saturday of the month. We had a very successful one last year. Nearly 2,000 people showed up, and you never know. You roll the dice what you get in Nevada, and sure enough, it was cold and rainy and windy and everything else, but the people endured, and we had a beautiful rainbow that came out over the American flag as people were descending onto the grounds to lay the wreaths. But it just shows that people in this area, Northern Nevada, they care about their veterans, and these veterans need to be honored. And Wreaths Across America, that's what it's built its foundation on for over 30 years. 33 years. The NVC, we've had the opportunity to lay wreaths on every single one of the gravestones since 2014. And we can't do it without the help of organizations like yourself and private donations and whatnot. The wreaths are not cheap. They are very expensive. The entire budget for the project for just Fernley is $160,000 to pay for what last year was $8,300. We're anticipating about 8,600 wreaths. Thankfully, some big corporations like Walmart and whatnot helps pay for trucking to bring them in. If you've seen the big semis that come in, 2 of those, and then we get volunteers, most of them from the town, that come out and help stage them throughout the cemetery. And then we get a slew of volunteers afterwards, and a month later, to pick them all up too. But this is something unlike Memorial Day, where the flags are just up for the weekend. The wreaths stay up for a good month. And so sometimes if people can't make it to the initial ceremony that we have, they'll come throughout the month of December and January, whether they have a family member buried there or not, just to pay respects. And it's a beautiful scene, especially with the fallen snow and you got all the wreaths out there. It's just really a serene, just the whole thing just to take it in. So unfortunately, there are expenses with it. While some things are donated, the bulk of our wreath donations are donated throughout the year. We start collecting. In fact, we're collecting now. And we try to take advantage of sales, like they have a sale in January from the wreath company. The same wreath company in Maine that's been doing it for 33 years. They still produce and send out the wreaths. So the monies that we're looking for $9,500. That's primarily to pay for the advertising that goes into place to invite folks down here, remind them and tell them that the event's going on. So between radio, print media, newspaper, and then, of course, the brochures that we have. The brochures are made to not only inform people what the event's about, but it also gives them an opportunity to make a donation and mail it back. So we print these brochures, and there's a cost to that, about $1,000, and then we pay about another $800 and some odd dollars for mailing. So we'll mail some of those out to people that we can't get in touch with because we're always out and about. We tend to go to a lot of events, and we have our brochures available at the cemetery and anything that we happen to go to where we can set up a booth. So we're always informing people throughout the year. So again, the lion's share of that does go to help pay for advertising, and it works because I'm able to have a media broadcast background, and so I know a lot of the folks, the main media players in Reno, for example. I can leverage a lot of that money, and which we do. We've been able to get upwards of 300 radio commercials across 7 radio stations, which also comes with that public service announcements that we get gratis because it's always added value. I'm able to usually manipulate a lot of the, our position with television. So all the main TV stations are out here as well. And, the folks that aren't out here, they do spend some time. The ceremony's an hour, but they'll stay and they'll linger for an hour or two. Invariably, they'll go eat at the restaurants that you have here, have lunch or breakfast, gas up and everything. So it's certainly they're contributing back to the economy. But the other thing that I stress while I do these commercials is that, I tell people, don't just come here the one day or just Memorial Day. Come here all the time. This is a place that needs to be visited on a regular basis. And it truly is, it's a jewel. I mean, it's like I say, it's an oasis in the midst of the Nevada brown desert. You look for the trees and the grass just off exit 48. I've got the verbiage down. And people are like, oh yeah, that is. It is like an oasis, something that you guys own and proud to. So we're here on behalf, again, the Wreaths Across America in hopes that you'll support us again so we can get the great crowds out here that need to come out and honor these veterans.
Any questions from the board? Mr. Hanna?
Just a comment.
Yes.
You have the voice of an angel. That's what everyone keeps telling me, and I concur. When we do a documentary on Fernley, I want you to come and do the
Happy to do
narration.
it. Part of the deal.
We need to do that for our 25th, and so I'll be reaching out to you. I've had the opportunity of attending the Memorial Day events and some of the other events in there, and occasionally I've gone out to the cemetery in the evening and walking around. When I'm thinking about things in my life, and I go out there and I read some of the names. There was a young gentleman, and his name has sort of eluded me, that was at the Memorial Day, that goes around and reads the name.
Preston Sharp?
Preston did.
Sure.
And he said something. He said, he goes around and he just reads the names out loud. And that was a very powerful message to me. I'm getting a little choked up here. So I do that as well. I go out there and I read the names out loud. I did that on Memorial Day, and a couple of days later, I went back and did it again. And it's very empowering, and it's very touching. And when you think about every single person that had a whole entire life, and part of that was to give their lives for the country, their time and their service. So it's very much appreciated. Thank you for all you do.
No, thank you, Mr. Hanna, for saying that.
Yeah.
As you remember, if you were at the cemetery that day, as we were acknowledging all of the folks that were there, I went out to the grounds myself and just found the first headstone that I came to and read their name aloud, because that's what it's about. And we tell people that during Wreaths Across America, when you lay the wreath, it's not just, plop it down and move on. Stop, take a moment, read the name of the person, whether aloud or to yourself, and place the wreath and spend a half a minute, just in moment of silence to remember them. So
yeah, I took that to heart, and I've done that, and it means a lot. So thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you for all you do.
Anything else?
No,
We're
thank
good.
you. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you for the time.
Item 3.4, Fernley Aces Art and Culture Event Squad, Art Light Night, Haunted House, and Christmas Village.
Do you have a, thank you. Do you have a presentation?
Is that on? There we go. Now it's on. Danny Yulhorn and Sky Long for Friendly Aces. We've been here before. You know us. Last year we didn't come and ask for any money from you. We just winged it and it worked. But we had less attendance last year than we normally do for our haunted house. And so we think maybe that has something to do with the amount of advertising we were able to do. So we'd like to bump it up this year. And then, of course, we've got new things. We're always doing new things. And even without our art center, we've come up with some ideas for something we're going to do. And we're partnering with McCoppers. We're going to do Art Night Light.
I have a whole slideshow.
I'll shut up. She's got it. Okay. Wing it.
How do I get to the next?
See?
Mm,
I can't be in the same room with technology. Doesn't work around me.
oh, wrong side.
There we go.
Okay, so we will start with the attraction you guys already know us for, and then we'll work our way to the new one. So the haunted house, these are examples of the flyers that we've made for the previous haunted houses. We're looking at 6 nights this year. Pricing is going to stay the same as it has for the last couple of years at $15. We tried the $20 mark, and Fernley's not ready for that jump yet. And then this project also funds future projects. So last year, the numbers that we have is 1,254 total attendees. We're trying to get better at our stats. So the stats we really have come from the online sales as opposed to the in-person sales. This year, we do have a way to implement tracking for the in-person sales. So 23% of the visitors came from outside of Fernley. And that's 18,810 in direct ticket sales. So we estimate that for the economic impact of while they're in town of $40 to $100 spent elsewhere in the town per ticket. So that's going to dinner, going to shops, anything else that you might do while you're going to a different town for an attraction. And this is how our estimate breaks down for the total impact. And I want to really highlight the volunteer labor because this could not run without the volunteers. We have about 35 volunteers, and this is also a skill building for the volunteers, and they get community service hours and stuff like that. So we have a local impact as well as a regional impact for this specific event. So the next one is a new project is the Art Light Night. And if the spelling bugs you, I totally understand.
Hey.
Go ahead.
So actually, we're partnering with McCoppers on this. They are doing an art event, doing something. They just wanted to have something go on this particular night. I can't remember which night it is now. But they had it already scheduled and asked us if we would help them. And so we've gotten together and talked to some artists that have projects that light up. And so we're going to bring them out, smaller art installations and stuff that we can light up, and not quite as big as the Big Whale in Reno or anything like that, but something we can have some fun with and just hang out and have an enjoyable evening. I believe there's live music, and of course their bar will be open, and I believe there's food trucks and things like that that are going to go on. So just something new to do. And then this year we're going to have a little workshop in the summer to build some Christmas houses because everybody calls me about 2 weeks before Christmas and says, hey, we want a house. And it's like, yeah, okay, great, marvelous. It took me, a month to build mine in the summer and yeah, no, I'm not doing it right now. Thanks anyhow. So we're going to try and get some out there. We've had quite a few people say they want to do that. So we're going to do a few weekends worth of building workshops out of my mammoth ranch in my house and go build some Christmas houses. And this year, hopefully we'll have quite a few more. I believe with the city's involvement and allowance, we're going to have it at the newly built CRRC this year.
To be determined on.
To be determined. We've talked to some people about it and maybe we can make that happen. They're doing some work out on the art park. So I think our stuff would be in the way. So hopefully the new CRRC will be done enough that we can put some houses there. There's plenty of parking. It's right on Main Street so people can see it, which is key to people being able to enjoy it. And we're hoping to be able to do that again this year.
Some of the other ideas that we're trying to get better at is partnering with the businesses to make these events even larger and even grander than they've been already. And there's a couple of ideas up on the slides and just areas of improvement for the future of ACES and what we're doing. The majority of the money that we're asking for, of course, is probably going to go for the haunted house because that's the biggest draw. And then the Christmas Village because it's a month-long tourism draw. And then the light night is how
Minor
we're looking
correction,
at
it goes to the advertising for those, just for the advertising.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they know.
Okay.
They know, they
Not
know
for
how,
anything
they know
else.
how this works.
Yeah, not for anything else. And we actually, because we don't have the art center, still working on plans for that. We're trying to think of things that we can do with our limited resources, and we're probably going to put together something behind my office. It's just a get together of some sort. Maybe have a comedian back there and do something. We feel bad that we're not doing as much as we used to do for the city. Little events that the locals can come out to most often, ladies' nights, comedy nights, and little things like that. So we're feeling the pain of not having an art center, but we'll get back to it. Any questions? Anything we can help you with?
Mr. Bursky?
I think you're doing great with all of the little events as well, because I had somebody approach me the other day and said, what is this Fernley Aces? I don't even get it. And I was like, oh, they're this, but like it was somebody from Reno, and I think you're doing a great job with all of your events.
Cool.
I think focusing on the big ones, obviously ideal, but I see Aces everywhere. I see tie-dye booths, I see, art opportunities or meetings, or I see it everywhere. So I think you're doing a great job.
Well, thank you.
And not having to spend extra money on marketing and having the help with that allows us to do more of the free events and more of the community involved events.
Mr. Hannon?
Thank you, Chairman Torres. Good evening. This is another Fernley success story. It's where he started off with just a couple little things and it's grown every year. This is exactly what we're promoting, and this is exactly what you're doing with that. And I think that's key to helping others do the same thing. That you're a model, so you're a successful model, and we're watching you. Everyone's watching you, and every year there's more exciting things coming. And next year it'll be bigger, and the year after that'll be bigger. And so I want to thank you for that. You're helping to make Fernley just a better place all around, between the art and the different events. I didn't have a margarita this year, but maybe in McHopper's I'll have a beer. But it's good to see you uniting with the local business. I know you guys were some events in town. We had the All Points, and there were some different groups that were involved in that. And so I like all that collaboration. It's really great. So
We
look
like
forward
that too. We've been trying to get other events or other businesses involved, and that's what Art Week was leading up to Music, Murals, and Margaritas. And
Yeah.
that's just blown us away how successful that's
Yeah, it's
been.
great. And speaking of blown, we had a little whirly bird out there,
Yeah.
a little whirly.
Yeah, got hit by a tornado first thing in the morning. It was ridiculous.
That was
But
bizarre.
people, I mean,
People
even
stuck
though
around.
No,
Some
but you
people left,
prevailed, even
people
though that,
stayed.
yeah, even though people hung on and
Yeah.
it was,
Winnemucca got a little hot and they
was
had the
successful event.
majority of their town leave. So
Also
I'm
want-
impressed with Fernley.
I also want to thank you for the statistics. We've been asking for that over and over, and so you provided that tonight, and that's very helpful to us. So thank you and good luck on your events.
We're working on better statistics with our website and our tech guy. It's hard to get that stuff. We're not that kind of savvy.
Oh, and I did have one question. A little birdie asked me, what night is the night lights? Do you have dates for some of these?
Do we have that?
July 26th from 5 to 10.
Oh, there we go.
July 26th
Yeah.
from 9 to 10, 5 to 10?
5 to 10.
Okay, thank you
Yeah,
very
and
much.
there are the haunted house dates in that application as well too.
Okay, thank you. Good luck on your events.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 3.5, Fernley Junior Rodeo Association, Fernley Junior Rodeo.
Who gets the clicker? You get the clicker? All right, good evening. I'm going to keep it nice and short. Everyone else had such lovely speeches. I'm going to feel a little self-conscious about mine. So I'm Dominic Sarasola. I'm the vice president of the Fernley Junior Rodeo Association. This is Dario Sarasola. He's the president. This is my mom. This is Alexi Sarasola. She handles all of the advertising, the prizing, this, that, and the other, a lot of the timed event stuff in the shack as well. So we put on the Fernley Junior Rodeo. We're actually coming up on our 35th year doing it, and the 5th year doing the Stan Sarasola Memorial Roping. He passed away in 2021, and that's when it all started. The rodeo is primarily volunteer run. In fact, it's all volunteer run between my family, the McKnight family, as well as some other generous volunteers like the Guerrero family. They help us put on the rodeo. These are just pictures of us competing over the years. We've been doing it. Well, I've been competing since 98 in that picture in the dummy roping. And we are now in charge of it. We're no longer participating in it. So the junior rodeo is for ages 0 to 13. We do a lot of dummy events. We'll put kids on the sheep, lambs, and then we actually have a lot of prizes for the 0 to 13-year-old kids. There's pictures of them with saddles and everything. And as far as the Stan Sarasola Memorial Roping goes, it's an honor of Stan. He was a lifelong citizen of Fernley, and he would always help flag, and he was a big loss for us. So we put on the rodeo and the roping in honor of him, and it brings in a lot of competitors. We have people come from California, Utah, Oregon, Idaho, and that helps kickstart a lot of the businesses here in Fernley just because everyone makes a weekend out of it. You don't just come here for one day. They come here and they'll participate in day 1, day 2. We have the short go, and they'll stay for the prizing, which is on the last day. So it just helps everyone here, and it brings everyone together to put it on and volunteer, and it gives something for everyone to do on that weekend. And then as far as advertising, we typically use social media and pamphlets, and we'll also ask a lot of the companies around here for sponsorships and support in that way. And everyone typically comes together and helps out a lot, and it would also help out if we were able to get some from you guys as well. And then, you got anything to add?
If they have any questions.
You got any questions for us?
Any questions from the board?
There you
The
go.
only thing I have is a statement, keep doing what you guys are doing. It's extremely important to to keep the livestock events happening. So people know what's going on, what you guys do, what ag is about in all through Nevada, but especially Northern Nevada, and continue to do the Stan Sarasola. That is an awesome.
Oh, we plan on it, yeah.
Kudos. So thank you guys for everything that you guys do. And this is my favorite event to sponsor. So.
Oh, good to hear.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Yeah,
you
thank
guys.
you.
Thank you.
Item 3.6, Friendly Youth Softball, 4th of July Classic, Nevada Blast, number 38 forever. Short porch, stay humble, fight the fight, and scared hitless.
Oh. Do we have the sound to go with this? Let me grab my phone for you.
Mr. Leha, you're going to have to ad lib it.
Got it. All right. Thank you guys for having us, Fernley Youth Softball Little League. The girls have a little something to say, so I'll let them go first.
We would like to thank the council, Mr. Mayor, and the FETA for your continued support.
With your support, we've been able to grow in the sport we love. We've been able to stay home, bring out our friends and family to our events. We hope we will continue to bring more of these events to Fernley.
Thank you for turning Fernley into a hub for the Western states.
All right. So what we're doing is we're bringing softball tournaments to Fernley. Over the last few years, we've been able to bring in, I actually got a slide here for you. But more importantly, I just want to say thank you guys for doing what you've done in the city council, because without the support, Mr. Mayor, I know have been out there, Mr. Torres, Felicity, Mr. Hannon, Stan, you guys have been able to come out, and that really shows a lot of support, because seeing these and what we tell you happens versus you guys coming out and actually seeing what we're doing is pretty awesome. And it's good to see. It's good for the girls. It's good for the community to see you guys actively engaged in what we're doing out here to support our community. So do we have the other, can we go to the next couple slides? Oh, I got a clicker. Got it. Oh, there's Mr. Mayor came out. Every tournament, we have the honorary first pitch. It's kind of a big deal. People are always asking who's going to do it. So Mr. Mayor came out. Felicity has been out there. Not a good picture, she said. I'm sorry. But she's worked our concession stands. Mr. Ryan Hannon for Memorial Weekend, this last one for our classic. He came out through the first pitch, did a little speech for us. So that went really well. And then Mr. Torres threw the first pitch for us on one of them. Wasn't a great pitch, but we'll let him slide because it wasn't underhand like we wanted. But, you know, he said, okay.
You hamstrung me on that. I was supposed to be in the front of the circle, and
the girl said, "Get him back, get him back."
The girls and Bill Kroll had me go all the way in the back, so I had to earn that one. Girls throw much better than I do.
All right, and then this right here is probably the most important out of everything. These are what we've been able to put together with the code that we're able to work with. Where, like we've talked about, it's been a code that the Best Western, the Sure Stay, and the Super 8. Those are the only three that have allowed us to have codes. And we've talked about this in the past where we kind of had a guess on how many people stayed in our hotels. But over the last few years, we've been really able to identify who and what. And they get a discount for staying at the hotels if they use our code in quotation marks. But over this year, in talking with the general manager for Comfort Suite and Sure Stay, our prices have actually gone up during our events. So even with the discount, in quotation marks, hypothetically, we're still selling out. So just to give you some hard numbers from this last year, from the 5 events that we have versus the 6 that we are having this year, for the Comfort Suites, we booked a total of 924 rooms. For Sure Stay and Best Western, we booked 726. For Super 8, we booked 539. So total rooms booked for 2025 were 2,189 rooms booked. So when we talk about beds and heads or who's coming to these events,
We are selling out. And also, if you look up there, that doesn't include our new host hotels that we've had to expand because now these events we've shown over the last couple of years that we just sell out. It's done everything that we hoped it could with the help of you guys. We have now expanded because we've hit capacity in Fernley, which is a great thing. That's what the whole point is to get people to spend the night, Friday night, Saturday night, for Memorial. We sold out that Sunday as well. A lot of times we don't sell it Sunday, but because it was a 3-day weekend, almost everyone stayed, which is great. So it's a good thing. Now that, like I said, we have Sparks Best Western, and then we have the GSR, that's a good hotspot for some of the parents. So, but without you guys doing what you do for our girls, this doesn't happen. And the continued success that we've had and shown, I'd like to tell you a little, we talk about what we're doing with our money and the advertising to it. The proof is in the pudding, so to speak. This Memorial weekend, we had 38 teams. Mr. Hannon was out there. He saw it. He came when it wasn't even going yet, right? Everybody was still waking up. Not all the fields were starting to roll in. But we had 38 teams and 1,500 people. And that was on Memorial weekend, which is really hard to get people to travel because most of them have plans, right? So this last weekend, a competitor came into town that doesn't do advertising, that doesn't do any of the extra stuff that we like them to do. And that was over in Reno. They had 7 teams and then I think 150 people. I think we were there. It is a massive difference to what we are doing here in Fernley compared to what they are doing in Reno now. So the fact that we have turned this into a hotspot or hub or a destination softball tournament to go to has been pretty amazing. And that only happens because of you guys and what you've done for us. So thank you very much. Talked about some of the money that we've raised and what we've done with it. Our money that we've raised and that they ask, hey, what are you guys doing with some of it? You guys have all seen the upgrades that we made to the in-town park. We also have, we're scheduled this year to put $12,000 back into Field 5. We're currently working on that with the board. Mr. Lau was talking about that. We're in the works. So when we say, hey, we're making money, absolutely, we're making some money, but we are directly investing that back into our community. Because without you guys giving us the money to begin with to get these events and advertise them to bring the people in, we wouldn't have this. So we also donated $6,000 to our teams. We now have 3 teams in Fernley that are 10-year-olds, 12-year-olds, and 14-year-olds. So that's been a pretty positive to create a team, what are we saying for a program? And it's pretty awesome when we travel outside of Fernley now. I always wear my Fernley hat. I'm pretty proud of it. And now we are becoming, hey, what are you guys doing? I say copycat or copying is the ultimate flattery, form of flattery. And people are coming to us going, what are you doing in Fernley? What are you guys doing? What's the secret? You know, and I just tell them there's no secret. It's the support of you guys and the people of Fernley that make it what it is. So thank you guys for allowing us to do that. And we look forward to the continued support of you guys.
Ms. Zabriskie.
Thank you. I'm sad we didn't get to see the video because it's really good. But I do need to disclose that actually both of my daughters are now active in these tournaments. This won't affect the way that I vote for it. I can say that as a mom who's never put their kids in any kind of travel sport because I was so terrified of the cost, that this has been just so seamless and like very easy. It's very easy for me to, let my kid do Blaze or be a part of the tournaments because the majority of them are here. I know that when Sarah or Bill approached me like, oh, you got to get your daughter in this, I was like, absolutely not. I don't have it like that. I'm not traveling to New York to watch my kid play. I can't do it. So I think that speaking for a lot of the parents out here from the other side of it, this has really made such a huge opportunity for small town families to be able to put their kids into something really competitive and something that the girls are, the tryouts even this year were we're huge. I mean, all of our softball girls want to be a part of it now. And so it's really impressive. So thank you.
Mr. Hannon.
Thank you, Chairman Torres. Good evening. It's good to see you. Thank you for inviting me out. I had a great time. You said that a lot of people were still waking up, and I was one of those people. So I'm not an early bird. I'm a late bird. I was doing some math here while you were giving out some numbers, and with the amount of rooms that you rented out, just kind of at about $120 a night, it's almost $270,000 in sales for rooms in the city of Fernley. At 11%, is it 11%? Is that what we're getting, or is it? I thought it was 14, but I'm told it's 11% as our room board tax. It's about almost $30,000 from those events. So that's crazy. If that number is correct, if I did the math right. It was great to see the families. I got to walk around and talk to a lot of people. I told everyone you were my security detail just in case it didn't go right. But it was great to talk to the folks. The underhand pitching is wild. I mean, I just kind of, for like a half hour, I was mesmerized by the underhand pitching. It was so quick, and I definitely couldn't do that. I think that's where Councilman Torres
He tried. It didn't work out too well.
He did the overhand instead of the underhand, but it's really amazing. And to see everyone out there and putting their heart and soul into it, it's America, right? That's what we are, and that is the heart of what we're doing. So thank you for all your work. Another big success story. Every time we do this, you're getting bigger and better, and we appreciate that. Thank you for bringing everyone to Fernley, and good luck on your event, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Leah, just real quick. I'm right-handed and you made me throw left-handed. I didn't sign the waiver. But in all seriousness, you were here when this was just a concept and an idea. And the idea that was presented to the community was, let's take as many of the tournaments from Sparks and GURP up there in Northern Sparks and see what we could do here, because they were starting to overflow. And you and your group and your parents and these young ladies for the last several years have taken that and just exploded with it. So thank you for doing that. This is a perfect example of just what an idea has grown into. You guys are also coaching the future softball state champions. And Fernley wants to continue doing that, and as well as with all of our sports. But girls softball is a proven success, and you guys are continuing to do that. Thank you for doing that. Thanks the board from all of us. Thank you for all the parents. I know it's a lot of time and a lot of effort, a lot of work.
A ton. Yes, they do an amazing job.
But you guys deserve a huge thank you for doing this and bringing these young ladies and giving them and teaching them academics, student athletes. That's what I stressed when I came out to opening day. Student athletes, you're not just building softball players, you're building humans, and you're building good people. And you guys are a great example for that. And I just want to say thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, ladies.
Any other questions? All right.
Item 3.7, Fernley Community Foundation, Fernstock 2025. And don't ask me to throw a softball.
We'll ask you to sing the national anthem next. How's that sound? For the record, Cody Wagner, Chair, Fernley Community Foundation. Start by just thanking the board again back in 2017, 2018 when we were starting this effort. 4-person board. I sold beer at a 4th of July and donated half of it back. And 3 city staff wrote us $100 donations to even file our first IRS fee and state licenses with no money. We're approaching the $500,000 mark in total money raised now. So it's the first kind of grant we got was from this board to start our marketing efforts. So we deeply appreciate the contributions over the years. Tonight we come to ask for help with our Fernstock event. We've planned it for Saturday, August 23rd this year. We're hoping to use the new facility. I know there's some lease things that need to happen. We do have the senior center reserved as a backup for that night. But again, kind of our efforts have been towards that new building. So we're really hoping to utilize it and utilize the lawn space out back for the concert. In previous years, we've done kind of a 3-part Fern stock. So we have a dinner, a public concert, and a golf tournament. The golf tournament ended up being pretty tough to fill, and there's a lot of golf tournaments going on. So we ended up deciding to concentrate our efforts this year on just the dinner and the concert. We're only asking for money for the concert part. The dinner is kind of our fundraising part where we help create some of that fundraising to support city projects. Typically, we have about 500 people at the event. Last year, with the construction, we kind of had to makeshift a plan, and we did it outside of the Boys and Girls Club, and they made space in their teen center to do our dinner and did a tremendous job. They catered the whole thing, so they're going to be catering our dinner again this year. We still got pretty good attendance. I think this year with the new facility, it could turn into a really, really cool, huge event with kind of that backdrop at night that you see driving by the facility on Main Street. One thing I kind of wanted to highlight, my board will probably tell you that I'm one of the cheapest people they know, but we could have easily made this a $20,000 to $30,000 event over the years. We used a local staging and sound company for a number of years, who did a tremendous job. The last check we wrote to them was for like $6,500 for their services for the night. So we've really done a lot of work in going out and getting different quotes, driving the costs down, keeping the costs very reasonable. So our stage rental this year is $3,000. I found a guy to do our sound engineering for only $500, which is an absolute steal. We've made a lot of social media reach with just a $500 budget. We support just our Fernley, so Biggest Little Radio and the Fernley Reporter with our radio and newspaper advertising. We use a Reno company called DigiPrint for all of our printing and digital design needs, and then Desert Bloom Media here in Fernley for our website development. And those are kind of the asks. I just wanted to highlight, all the cost saving measures we've taken over the years. This is the lowest ask in your packet this year. I feel like we've really made the money go as far as we possibly can. So hopefully you recognize that as you'll probably need to make some cuts to budgets here at the end. Any questions?
Any questions from the board? Mr. Hannon.
I'm sure you're surprised that I turned on my microphone. Good evening, Mr. Wagner. I just want to thank you for all your hard work with the Community Foundation and the Community Center, the CRRC, and all the work you're doing for the city of Fernley. It's much appreciated. And we wish you well in your event.
Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Wagner.
Thank you.
Item 3.8, the Beacon Fernley Splash the Sigma Water Balloon Fight Tournament.
Hey, good evening. My name is Brian George Hernandez, for the record. I'm the treasurer for the Beacon. We are the new kids on the block, a relatively new nonprofit here in town. I've been a Fernley resident since 2021, so even though I'm a new face to you all, I've been around for a few years, and I really appreciate the invite to come out and present to you today. So in addition to being the treasurer of the Beacon, I'm a full-time state employee. I'm also a veteran of 20 plus years serving in the Nevada Army National Guard, and so it's been really enlightening coming here. I've been networking in the community recently, making some connections with some of these other organizations, and it's clear that we're going to need their support as well to also come out, support this event in order to make it a huge success. So we are presenting to you Splash the Stigma 2025. Essentially what that is all age friendly water balloon fight tournament. So imagine softball, bracketed competitions. So the intent is for people to come out, have a great time, throw some water balloons, and possibly settle some duels in the process. The event is planned for August 10th, which is the last day of the Hot August Nights event. So our hope is that in addition to having local people come out, register as teams that will also get some traffic from Hot August Nights who are leaving town for the weekend. I think it'll be a nice little break from their week or so of car shows and cooling down for the summer. So that's one of our main tenets of this event. So capitalizing on existing tourism from within the community and surrounding communities, as well as facility activation, using the Fernley Rodeo Arena, a facility that's not commonly used in Fernley, and making a huge muddy mess that I think everybody's going to have a great time. And who doesn't love seeing somebody get smashed in the face with a water balloon? We're asking for we are asking for $15,000 with a total event budget of about $36,000. About a third of that will go towards rentals, a third of that towards advertising, and a third towards insurance and supplies. And with that being said, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Mr. Bursky?
I have a few questions only because I have never seen you before. I've never heard of this.
Yes.
So is what kind of nonprofit is the Beacon? I mean, what do you guys generally do? Is Splash the Stigma? Is there a meaning behind the name? Is it for bullying, or can you explain that to me?
Fantastic question. It's Brian George Hernandez for the record. Splash the Stigma. Let me get into first our organizational mission. So essentially, our mission is to support youth and their families in overall healthy youth development. So I'm a graduate student at the University of Nevada. I'll be graduating at the end of August with my master's degree in social work. My plan is to open up a clinic, mental health clinic here in Fernley that will also serve dually purpose as a youth recreation center. So that would be the point of me networking within the community. So Splash the Stigma is to raise awareness about substance use, not only in Nevada, but especially the elevated problem here in rural Nevada. I think a lot of people are not aware that there's a higher risk, higher likelihood of youth and adults using substances in Nevada. And so the overall intent is to raise awareness and hopefully do some fundraising towards our purpose.
That's great. My first thought was rubber water balloons all over our rodeo grounds. So do you have an idea of how you're going to kind of manage? I mean, as far as those water balloons getting lost in our dirt, and then we have rodeos, and then the cows are going to eat them. I don't know. Something about that makes me a little bit nervous, only because I'm worried about the livestock. Because I know that our rodeo grounds aren't used constantly, but they are actively used for rodeo.
Excellent question, Brian George Hernandez for the record. So in order to preserve our facilities, that is part of our plan. So it's not just show up, throw a bunch of water balloons and leave for the day. It involves also the setup and tear down process, including in that is using rakes, ATVs to screed through that soil, pick up, our goal is to pick up 100%. There might be a little bit left over, but our overall goal is to fully clean that and make it better than we found it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Sorry, your last question.
Oh, go ahead.
Have you had one of these events in a surrounding area? Have you had one of these? Is this the very first event, or have you had an event like this in Sparks or Reno or any of our surrounding areas?
Brian George Hernandez for the record. Unfortunately, no, we have not had any events like this. So the closest thing that we can tell to this event would be like the softball tournaments. Our organization was only founded last year in 2024, March of 2024. And so we've been in this process of development, of refining our business plan. We've had very small events and have piggybacked off of other events, just trying to get our name out there a little bit. However, our plan, because we've never had one of these events, because we're so new, is to really focus on the advertising aspect. That includes hiring high school students who are out for the summer to come and help us film a promotional video, an aggressive social media marketing campaign, an aggressive Google Ads marketing campaign, because we're brand new. You all have never seen this, and neither has the community.
I would definitely recommend, a solid amount of people in this room are all very much community leaders as far as events for the community goes. So I would definitely suggest networking with some of the people behind you as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
.9 Fernley Downtown Quarter Association. DBA Main Street Fernley, drive to it, not through it campaign.
Good evening. For the record, Lowell Patton, excuse me, president of Main Street Fernley. I've got a slideshow. So our concept is a billboard campaign. We've been talking at our board meetings about how we might be able to incorporate events that are seem to be growing and becoming very successful and drawing a lot of people to Fernley, but to be able to promote those events in, I guess, a centralized way. And so we've come up with a, a slogan, drive to it, not through it. Main Street Fernley. As I mentioned, it's primarily a billboard campaign, and the largest amount of the expense, if you've seen in the application, is for the lease of a billboard for a 6-month period. So just a few stats about why we propose this as what we believe to be something that'll be very successful for the use of these funds. 88% of passenger travel is via personal vehicle. This is all building sort of towards why this billboard should be successful. And I thank the softball team for pointing out that Fernley is a hub of I-80, US 50A, and US 95A. Some of the survey results for travel within the Pony Express territory, which Travel Nevada breaks Nevada up into various categories. We've got Reno Tahoe to our west. Pony Express territory includes us down to Dayton and then basically straight across the state. But some of the interesting data that is provided by Travel Nevada for, and this is specifically for our area, overnight visitors to Pony Express territory average $560 per overnight stay. So they also average 3.1 nights per trip. So our idea is to try to get people that would not otherwise come to Fernley through word of mouth or relatives that can see a billboard and plan one of these $1,500 and change visits on average. And the Interstate 80, because that's where the billboard's going to be, so we're going to kind of focus on Interstate 80 for a little bit. NDOT says the average daily traffic, and this is averaged over the entire year, is 21,700 vehicles. Over 180 days, that's almost 4 million vehicles that will pass just on Interstate 80. That's not 50 or 95. So billboard number 2556869, it's a specific billboard, and I'll show you a picture of it in a minute. They estimate the views in 180 days are just over 1 million views. So the exposure is substantial if you can afford to put a billboard up for 6 months. The Pony Express territory visitors, these I find interesting because these are actual surveys by actual visitors to Pony Express territory. Pony Express territory origin markets, Los Angeles is 25% of the originating trips. The Bay Area is 10%, Salt Lake City is 8%, Sacramento 7%. And because we have a dividing line between us and Reno, Reno accounts for another 6% of visits to Pony Express territory. The trip purposes, vacations 23%, visiting friends and relatives 21%. That would be distinct from a vacation. and not all friends and relatives are a vacation. Entertainment, 20%, road trips, 15%, and gaming, 7%. And those are all actual results from surveys of visitors specifically to Pony Express. Travel Nevada is a good source if you're looking for travel within Nevada tourism. So how do we get them off the freeway? So our thought is we're going to promote this campaign. We will have a organized slogan, Main Street Fernley, drive to it, not through it. And what we'll do is we'll put up a billboard and we'll have some accompanying locally distributed brochures to go along with that for when people do come off and check things out and there may not be an event happening at that time, for locals to go into businesses, pull up. It'd be a calendar, if you will, kind of highlighting the events that occur within Fernley. And the billboard, I overlaid the billboard. I don't know what's on it right now, but this is the billboard. It sits, you'd be westbound 80, looking south to Logan Lane between exit 48 and exit 46. So on the billboard, in this instance, we say exit 46, downtown Fernley. We have, I just threw 3 events up there. Our idea is that we will change that billboard in the middle of the quarter because because of size and attractiveness, you need to limit your information that you put on there, but make people want to come get off the freeway. So this is a picture. It is stolen. It's not licensed. It won't be on the billboard unless we get the artist's approval. But from the Fernley Aces during the festival, and we put on Fernley 4th of July, the Fern 45 off-road poker run, and downtown Christmas Village. And so you'll see those span from July to December, but our goal would be July to September and then October to December for the second billboard. And on there, just notice the QR code because we're going to mention that later. And then along with that, just a silly example, I pulled off the internet of a tri-fold brochure, but it would have similar markings to the billboard, all of the events that would occur during that 6-month period, more information obviously about Main Street Fernley, our organization, and more information about Fernley, things like where you can stay, list some of the hotels. Our budget, it's in your packet, but I just put it up here to show you that the largest expense is the billboard itself. So printing, shipping, installing, leasing for 25 weeks, and that is with one change out in the middle, so that is included. The second printing of the billboard and installation of the billboard that we'd put on in the middle. The accompanying brochure, $1,500. Webpage development, I'll mention. So look at those 3 items: development, hosting, and maintenance. They're going to come into play later, but our request is $9,750 from FCTA, and Main Street Fernley would match that $9,750 with our own $9,750, and the total budget would be $19,500. So tracking, I know it's always difficult. Different organizations I've been part of have had trouble counting the estimated financial impact. That's always kind of loose anyways, but I know that it's important to find out how many people came associated with the money that this board gave to the organization. So our concept is the billboard has the QR code on it. The brochure has the same QR code, and the QR code links to a distinct landing page on our Main Street Fernley website. So we'll be able to see the people that come from those 2 items specifically to our webpage. We'll also be asking for their email address so that they can both be counted and surveyed. That's at least the concept. We've been pretty successful with our QR code for Main Street Fernley, so we don't have any reason to believe that won't work. Our short-term goals for funding, this year we'd match FCTA. Next year we'd match a corporate sponsor. And then maybe the following, we'd be able to have this sponsored by a corporate sponsor entirely, whose logo obviously would be somewhere on that billboard to give them some recognition. And this is our QR code for Main Street Fernley. Anybody who wants to scan it, it'll drop you right down to our Main Street Fernley webpage. My contact info is there, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Mr. Hannon? Thank you, Chairman Torres. Good evening, Lowell. It's nice to see you. First, I want to thank you for all your hard work on the Main Street project. I know it takes a long time to get things going, and people always ask me what's taking so long for the overpass, and I tell them the 25 things we have to do to get there. You're in the same predicament. I had the pleasure of taking off and going up the Pony Express, and finally, it's on my bucket list of things to do. My mental whiteboard, I had to wipe it off finally. I went to Austin. If you're ever in Austin, stop by the International and talk to Vic. He's a heck of a character. Didn't know that the building was in Virginia City. It was moved, disassembled, and moved up to Austin. In Austin, they have a really cool bulletin board, and they show the Pony Express. And I took some photos, and to my surprise, there's Fernley, and they've marketing for Fernley in the other cities and Fallon and so on and so forth. And I thought that was really cool. I would love to see something. I wish the Pony Express people would do that here. They have kind of like a little town center square, and then there was some information about the Pony Express. I went a little farther up to Eureka. So much history, and it reminds me of Fernley. When I first moved here, I was looking for all of the history in Fernley, and Pink Cadillac and Clint Eastwood and Bernadette Peters right at the where the All Points stand is in town. And Hazen. There's so much history here, and there's so many things to attract people here. And I want to thank you for doing all you're doing to bring them off the freeway. Good numbers, good stats. It gives us all a good picture of what we're looking at and how it's going to be impactful. So I want to thank you very much for your presentation.
Mr. Barsky?
Kind of a selfless ask, really, because you're asking to put up billboards to bring people to to all of these events realistically. So I would say probably a percentage of people that are coming to visit all of these events you could use as people who have seen your billboard. I think it's a really good idea. FCTA is to bring tourism. I think it's really cool that you kind of thought outside of the box, and it will be neat for everybody here that's asking for their events to be advertised. I mean, you're kind of asking to do that for them as well, to bring people here. So just want to say thank you.
So just real quick, I know that I had a discussion the other day, and it was about the lady who is absolutely amazing, who does Gardnerville Main Street. So she's kind of the model for our state for sure. And it was asked about possibly the city funding something to where we would have an employee paid for Main Street USA. That's what the city of Gardnerville does. City of Gardnerville doesn't have a whole lot of other things that they're responsible for. We have the entire city, how small Gardnerville is. So I didn't think that we could do that. But I mean, I think there is a possibility that maybe we could involve Casey Caiston more with Main Street USA to kind of be the liaison. This is just a concept. I haven't spoken to the mayor or Casey about it at all, or part of council. It just came up Friday during the conversation. So if you guys are open to that, I think, that would be, you would have one person in the city of Fernley to go to that would enable and help you guys with, you're not having to talk to 20 different people to get an answer. You're able just to go to one source. It's a city employee, and that city employee would be dedicated because that's what he does for other entities. So we may be able to give you guys that resource. And we're already paying him, and he does the grants, a lot of the grants as well. Just an idea. So I'm very excited for Main Street. I think we have all the capabilities in the world to be like Tonopah and like Gardnerville with what is coming. So I wish you guys the best of luck. And I think the billboard is an excellent idea. And maybe if you have in mind as you're going into Reno and right on the left-hand side, right, it faces east, right there by Patrick, right there by where Purina Dog, that great big billboard. So when NDOT like has us down to 2 lanes, that would be an excellent place if you guys can secure it, because you're going to be parked in front of a billboard for about 30 minutes and they can just scan all day. So I appreciate it. Thank you all. And thank you for the presentation.
Thank you.
Item 3.10, Fernley Chamber of Commerce, big impressions.
Good evening, Shannon Sarasola. I'm the 2025 Chamber President this year. And we are coming to you with a grant presentation, and I'm really excited to hear your thoughts on the Fernley Main Street because we're piggybacking with them. As a chamber, we are small businesses and large businesses, and we do a lot within our community. And so our approach is we want to work on what Fernley is and what people think of Fernley, because we asked a lot, what is Fernley known for? That's a hard question to answer. Also, one of the biggest questions is where to get your information for all the events that are coming. So we're trying to make the chamber that hub of where you can find all of the information for the events that are coming forward. Advertising is difficult in this lifestyle that we live. It's always very fast paced on Facebook. And if you're not part of the right group or you don't have the next right connection, it's hard to find that information. So what we want to do is we want to do a second billboard. We have, I've gotten information from the city of Lovelock and from Winnemucca. They have done these promotions where they do these multiple billboards to consecutively talk about your city and to get people to try to come off the highway and come into our town. So our approach this year is called Big Impressions, the Fernley Chamber of Commerce. Kind of an idea that we had thought and put together is that we're better together, the more work we do together, and we have kind of a conceptual idea and we work as an overall impact, the better we'll be. One of our biggest attractions, and when we talked about taking it down, there was a big, dissent about it. So is our truck. We want to work to figure out who owns that actual sign, and we'd like to paint it so we could put the name of Fernley on it. So it's not just the truck end of something that's no longer there. We wanted to, it's people know the big truck sign. When as a child, I have driven by it many, many times as a kid and been, always wanted to get into it. So we think it would be an opportunity to take something that is kind of known and tag it for us and use it as an asset. Another one of our slogans is put your money where your heart is, support your local businesses. We want to create a city marketing campaign, building a brand for our city. I think that's something difficult when we talk about, people want to know, again, like, what is Fernley known for? What is a kind of our slogan? We don't have that. So we want to take an opportunity with one of, through this grant cycle to do a marketing campaign for the city of Fernley and put it out to our local people, our community, and have them decide what we want it to be. As we know, we kind of get called for Kentucky, which is not my favorite slogan. So we want to have something positive, and we want to have it to come back from our community and be able to utilize it in this format. Again, like Lowell spoke, we would have the QR code, so you could be able to go onto it. On the Fernley Main Street one, you would go to their website. On ours, we would have the same QR, a different QR code to take you to the Fernley Chamber of Commerce, where we do advertise all of the different programs. Fern 45, Margaritas and Murals, 4th of July, Aces Haunted House, the Main Street Poker Walk. Main Street's going to do, in conjunction with the Holiday Houses, a Prancer's Path this year, which will kind of put out the information too. But it's just kind of constantly building on, working together and bringing people into our community and shopping locally with us. This is another snapshot of information that comes from the Pony Express. The visitor vacation, he went over a lot of that same information, but the average Nevada spends $560 on an overnight visit to come here. And so all of these different events bring money into our community. But if we have an ability over the time to have two different websites to visit and two different billboards to advertise these things, we'll just have more people coming into our community. Next ones are just shop local, Fernley, support your neighborhoods. These are just some of the other ideas that we can do with them. Money talks, be local, be vocal, shop local. Something that we could kind of a slogan that we can kind of get to catch on. And so it just goes on with the different billboards. We also have a presentation, different programs that we put together. We're trying to launch a dynamic community-focused advertising campaign that we're calling Big Impressions. Our first billboard would be titled Money Talks, Be Vocal, Shop Local. The initiative aims to strengthen Fernley's economy by encouraging residents and visitors to support local businesses. The campaign will include a prominent billboard, professionally designed handouts, and the launch of a new local incentive program called Chamber Bucks. Chamber Bucks has been used, again, we have talked to other local chambers within Winnemucca, Ely, and they do this program, and we've talked about doing it here for a long time, and we're going to get it implemented at the beginning of July. It's an online community branding contest, will also help to engage residents and further increase our awareness. The use of the funds will be to help pay for the billboard and the marketing handouts. The chamber will also meet and spend at the same amount of money and match it for our program. The second things are the Chamber Bucks program, which costs us absolutely nothing to launch. It's an initial funding for the program and designing of the bucks, but we are doing that on our own. The online community branding contest costs us nothing. Other events that we have during the year are the poker tournament on November 21st. We're also creating a new bowling tournament that we're going to do for the community in August with the new bowling alley over here. We're teaming up with them to do that as a community event. We also sponsored currently on our radio, local radio, the Community Minutes, where information can be shared about all the different community events that are coming forth and all of the different programs that are going on in the city of Fernley. The Main Street will do the Prancer's Path in December. Chamber Bucks is a gift certificate style voucher that can be redeemed at any participating chamber member business in Fernley. The consumers are incentivized to shop locally with Chamber Bucks through giveaways, contests, and promotion. When bucks are used, the Fernley Chamber of Commerce reimburses the business with the full face value, ensuring both consumer engagement and business support. This program keeps money circulating within Fernley and promotes the chamber members, as well as strengthening our civic pride. The community impact that comes from that is encouraging local spending and economic circulation within our own community. We raise visibility for small business and chamber members. We engage with our residents in brand and promotional activities throughout the community, like with the ACEs and the Fern 45 and different programs. This also will help attract visitors and reinforce Fernley's unique identity, which I think is important. I think we're sort of a city in crisis of an identity right now. And so this would be a great opportunity to get our local people to help decide what that identity is going to be and help promote it. So it's something that we hopefully could all agree on and have an in common thing that doesn't happen right now in our community. In conclusion, our Big Impressions campaign is an exciting and timely initiative that directly supports Fernley's small business community and enhances local tourism visibility. With the support of the FCTA through the $16,500 that we're requesting, we will meet halfway. So it's only
8,250. We are currently trying to powerfully amplify this message across the platforms and drive meaningful economic impact for Fernley. Teaming with Fernley Main Street will ensemble a more prominent presence in supporting current local events and create additional Main Street events to keep our downtown area vital and active. We appreciate your consideration and look forward to participating and partnering with you. Do you have any questions for me?
Any questions from the board? Mr. Hannon?
Thank you. One of the stats from the previous presentation was, and I was and I forgot to bring this up, 20% from LA.
I know, isn't that
Well,
good?
how is that even possible? I'm trying to wrap my head around that. I'm a numbers nerd.
Yeah.
They're
They're
escaping.
escaping. I do ask that question a lot to some of my friends from California because I'm
Right.
like, why do you come to Fernley? What makes you
Right.
want to come here and visit this area? And it's the open space. It's the uniqueness of the environment. It's being so close to being able to fly into Reno and just seeing something that they don't see, which is concrete and asphalt every day.
Yeah, that number is shocking. Actually,
Yeah.
it's I don't know. So when I travel on the Pony Express or anywhere around, I'm guilty of eating at every single restaurant in town and every single restaurant that I pass through. I've got the waistline to prove it. And I hike mountains to try to kill the calories, but I wish more people would support local and to stay local. The more that we, and I know you know this, and I'm just sort of repeating it so that hopefully it's ingrained in people's
Right.
heads. The more we support local, the more opportunities for new things locally. And all of these things are being watched and monitored by other investors and other
Yes.
people who have great ideas that are watching these new places. And if they thrive, then we'll have more that thrive. And that's, I think, one of the big challenges. We've had conversations with different groups and they say, well, what is Fernley? And I go, oh my God, we were farming, ranching.
Yeah.
We're sort of in transition now. We're sort of this metropolis to Reno and these other areas, but we're trying to hang on to some of that and we're trying to grow. And it's going to be really interesting to see what the folks say.
And I think from the chamber's perspective, people ask us that all the time. And I do come from a ranching background and a farming background, and that's super important to me, but that's changing here. So it's a matter of trying to get a concept that embraces where we were and where we're going, and we can kind of cross that bridge together. I'm amazed when I worked in the chamber office and we have a new chamber manager, Marcel, who has, just in this last week, we've had 15 to 17 people coming in to get their Pony Express Highway stamps from us. And he has a party of 22, he said, that made a reservation to do it on a Saturday.
Wow.
That he's going to go down and open it so they can get the stamp. And we're here and people are coming through and we don't even realize it. So this would be a great way to engage with it. We have invested in a program called Associated Spirit 2 that will help us track a lot of this information and be able to drive these numbers and be able to put it in a focus format so we can present it to you. Because I think as a chamber, that's also important to let our members know what our money's being spent on and how we're seeing those numbers grow. And I think a billboard is a good way for us to be able to support multiple businesses and not just one entity.
Yeah, that's terrific. Thank you for all your hard work.
Thank you.
Anything else from the board? I just have a couple
Thank
of
you.
things.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Just real quick.
Yeah.
The biggest thing is, let's get away from Ferntucky.
Exactly.
It's not Ferntucky. I hate that. The guys in Fallon hate Falabama.
Yes, absolutely.
It's not any better. If we want other people to take us serious, then we need to take ourselves serious.
Yes.
And quit talking ourselves down with Ferntucky. Not a big fan of that. I love the idea of doing a refurbish on the tractor trailer.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Everybody I know that comes through here, whether they stay or not, and I talk to them, they're like, hey, that would look really cool. And I go, well, a long time ago when I first came here, it was
it was cool.
it looked pretty good. Other than that, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah, I think it's a really cool visible thing that we are known for, and we might as well make it attractive. And if people want to keep it, bring it up to, to something, as they call, sexy, and make it ours. So thanks. Have a good night.
Thank you. Long time. So a couple of things, and I just wanted to bring it up just all at once instead of interrupting everybody's presentation. If you guys would do, especially the ones that are not doing like a food event, and I wouldn't expect this from the Race Across America, but the rest of us, especially the rodeo the art aces and the softball. Can you guys maybe put together just a simple map that you hand out for when people come to registration that shows your restaurants that are close? I mean, everything's pretty close in Fernley. Restaurants and gas. So they know, hey, I have 3 hours or I have 2 hours before my next game. And the softball gave us a map where, hey, the things out by the big flag, those are pretty walkable from the park. Or if you want to go downtown, there's restaurants downtown. Or if you want to go, and I don't care what restaurants are on there, I would be happy if you guys would put everything on there, but I think would be a pretty simple concept to do that. And it wouldn't cost very much money. If you guys would think about doing that and just handing that out. Yes, ma'am.
Shannon Sarasola from the Chamber of Commerce. We talked about that, and that's one of our, sorry. I know I yell at people for not using the microphone. It's Shannon Sarasola from the Chamber of Commerce, just for the record. We are looking at putting one together. We are kind of a Main Street format of just from one stoplight to the other, putting the basic restaurants, the hotels on it, just as a basic handout for us to have at the chamber office and to be able to put into like a welcoming packet when we have new businesses come in. It's going to be part of the Chamber Bucks program because we want you to be able to know who uses the chamber dollars as well. So it'll be an overall map of the kind of the businesses of Fernley, but it would have asterisks as to which one are chamber members. So you can actually use your chamber bucks there.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Great
I think it
idea.
would be very beneficial for the whole town.
Thank you. Mr.
Okay,
Leha?
with Friendly Youth Softball, we do a digital format of that. And it's actually, I'm not sure, it might have been you last year or someone on the council actually told us, hey, what are you guys doing for that? So we put all the like pizza restaurants, we do all that, but it's just digital. Printed would be a good idea. I also call like 7-Eleven. I talk to Linda and I call Zoe over at Subway and I talk to the guys at Pizza Factory. So I kind of give them all a heads up like, hey, a couple weekends, don't forget, we're having a tournament because 7-Eleven gets packed, Jackson's, all our pizza parlors, our round table. So I call them and I let everyone know like, hey, please ramp up because the idea is we want to get our money, keep the money in town, right? We got these people coming out. And so we do promote that. We do talk about it. A print site is a good idea. I'll work on that next time to make sure we have that. But if you go on the webpage during our events, we actually have it on the social media and on our page itself. So that's only because last year, one of you guys told us we should do that. And I said, well, you're kind of right too, because I too go to other areas when we travel and I go, that would be kind of nice. And so now we're really giving our guys a heads up because one of the things that happened a couple of years ago was some of the places just fill up. We don't have a ton, right? But we have to be able to still kind of push them towards where they want to go and open space. So All Points is one that we're going to add because now they have a bigger venue as opposed to Pizza Factory and Round Table and some of the other places. So thank you. That was a great idea that you guys had last year during this meeting, and we kind of put that in play this year.
No, thank you. Digital, paper, whatever works. Digital is always cheaper. So yeah, if you guys can continue doing that, great. I know the rodeo and Fern 45 really push where the fuel is at. So the more diesel pushers that you guys, the more diesel tax we get as well. So I'm big on that. And then as far as the Pony Express, so 3.5 years ago, we got back involved in the Pony Express territory with all of the members of Pony Express and Nevada Travel. So that had gone by the wayside for probably a decade. And then I became a member of the Pony Express Trail Board. And I've kind of slowly backed out of it, but the chamber has been extremely helpful with the Pony Express, as well as Casey and April keeping that going. I'm actually going to totally come off because I believe I'm going to have an opportunity to go to a separate board. But we are very involved in Pony Express again. It's been about 3.5 years, and they're very, very grateful, and they help us out with pushing our sorry, I almost said tourism here in Nevada, especially in Fernley. So just a heads up. Okay, we're going to take a 10-minute break. we're going to put our numbers together. Our wonderful clerks are going to do that, and we'll come back in 10 minutes at 7:55. Thank you. put the fund. Can you? Yeah. I mean, there we go. Okay. Can you scroll up a little bit to the top, and then I'll read them off as we go down. There we go. Okay, Fernley 4th of July, $14,375. Sacred Visions Powwow, $8,125. Nevada Veterans Coalition, $9,250. Fernley Aces, $8,500. Fernley Junior Rodeo, $9,625. Fernley Youth Softball, $22,250. Fernley Community Foundation is at $4,625. The Beacon, $6,250. Oh, sorry, $4,625. The Beacon, $3,875. Fernley Downtown Corridor, Main Street, $6,250. There we go. And Fernley Chamber of Commerce, $5,250 for a total, and this is the largest amount we've ever given, $92,125 total for FCTA for this biannual. So thank you. Okay, we're going to go to item number 4, address requests for future agenda items. Do we have any future agenda items?
Mr. Chair, if I may, April Hami for the record. I would like to request that the council review the current City of Fernley Convention and Tourism Authority guidelines for expending grant or matching grant money, as well as the associated bylaws, both of which were last updated February of 2021. And I propose that the board submit any request for the changes to staff by September of 2025. This timeline would allow for the necessary amendments to be presented at the council meeting on October 15th, prior to the December 8th fiscal year 25-26 round 2 award meeting. And this will also enable the city to advertise the new guidelines and bylaws before we begin accepting grant applications in November of 2025. I know that the board had mentioned this previously, but it was never agendized to be looked at. So if we could move forward with that, I would really appreciate that.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Clerk's got that, and we'll get it agendized. Anything else, Ms. Hami?
I just wanted to let some of these folks know that are here today that the deadline for submitting is approaching quickly for the last grant cycle. And we have several that have not submitted yet. So this is just a friendly reminder to get those numbers in. If they're not received on time, then you just don't get reimbursed. But that's over $44,000 right now. And our accounting department is unable to balance and reconcile when they should be, because they're coming in July instead of June. So the sooner you get those, the better. And if you have any questions, I'm more than happy to send you your previous application. If you need a reimbursement form, anything that you need. I will be on vacation next week for 10 days, actually, starting Monday. And if you have any questions, I have CC'd Jessica Murdoch on all of the emails. I'm also sending those that need to reimburse their applications, the reimbursement form and the guidelines. So that should answer any questions you may have. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Homie. Item number 5, public forum. Does anybody wish to speak? Anybody on Zoom, Madam Clerk? Okay, our next FCTA meeting will be December 8th, 2025 at 6 p.m. and this meeting is adjourned. Thank you all.